If your CSV turns into one giant column, weird symbols, or broken rows, the file is usually fine. Excel is just guessing wrong. CSV is not a single format. It's plain text plus a handful of hidden decisions. The big three are delimiters, encoding, and line breaks. When Excel guesses any of those wrong, your data looks corrupted even though it isn't. The good news is you can fix this without rewriting the file. First, you'll learn how to identify the delimiter that separates columns. Next, you'll lock in the right text encoding so accents and special characters stay readable. Then, you'll handle line breaks inside cells, which is the classic reason rows shift. By the end, you'll have a simple checklist you can apply to almost any CSV from any system, and you'll know exactly when to use Excel's import tools instead of double-clicking the file. Next step. Before fixing anything, it helps to know what kind of failure you're dealing with. If everything lands in column A, that's almost always a delimiter mismatch. If you see question marks, diamonds, or garbled accents, that's an encoding issue. If rows are shifted, duplicated, or split in strange places, that's usually line breaks inside quoted fields. Another clue is numbers that become dates or lose leading zeros, which is a type detection problem during import. These symptoms look similar, but the fixes are different. So the fastest approach is diagnose first, then import with the right settings. Also, avoid the habit of opening CSVs by double-clicking. That method gives Excel maximum freedom to guess, and it often guesses based on your regional settings, not the file's reality. Treat CSV like raw data. You want a controlled import, where you tell Excel what the file means. Next step. Let's talk delimiters, because this is the most common problem. A CSV is often comma-separated, but not always. In many regions, the delimiter is a semicolon, because commas are used as decimal separators. Some exports use tabs or pipes. Excel tends to pick a delimiter based on your system locale, not the file. That's why a file from another country often imports as one column. The fix is simple. You import using a wizard-style flow and explicitly choose the delimiter. Another subtle delimiter issue happens when the delimiter character appears inside the data, like a comma in an address. That's why proper CSV uses quotes around fields. If the file isn't quoting correctly, Excel can't reliably split it. In that case, you may need to re-export correctly, or pre-clean the text before importing. Next step. A quick way to confirm the delimiter is to open the CSV in a plain text editor. You're not editing yet, just inspecting. Look at a few lines and spot the repeating separator between values. If you see semicolons between every field, that's your delimiter. If you see commas, same idea. If it looks aligned with tabs, it may be tab delimited even if the file ends in .csv. Also check whether text fields are wrapped in double quotes. If quotes appear, the file likely supports commas inside values. Then check consistency. The delimiter should appear the same number of times on most lines. If one line has fewer separators, that row may be missing a value. If one line has more, it may contain an unescaped delimiter inside the text. This inspection step saves time because you'll import with confidence instead of trial and error. Next step. Now for the controlled import approach that prevents most delimiter problems. Instead of opening the CSV directly, start from Excel and import the text file. The key idea is you choose the delimiter and preview the split before committing. If your file is semicolon delimited, pick semicolon. If it's tab delimited, pick tab. If it's something unusual, you can set a custom delimiter like a pipe. While you're there, pay attention to the text qualifier, which is usually the double quote character. That tells Excel to treat commas inside quotes as part of the value, not a separator. If the preview shows columns lining up cleanly, you're in good shape. If it still looks wrong, stop and recheck the file. Importing is faster when you trust the preview and don't force it. Next step. Next is encoding. The reason names like Jose become Jose or Mueller turns into nonsense. Encoding is how bytes map to characters. The most common encodings you'll run into are UTF-8, UTF-16, and older Windows encodings like ANSI or Windows 1252. Many systems export UTF-8 by default, but some versions of Excel historically assumed a local legacy encoding when opening a CSV. That mismatch creates the classic garbled text. The fix is again controlled import. You choose the file origin or encoding during import, and you preview the text. If the preview shows correct accents, you've picked the right one. If not, switch encoding and check again. One more tip. If the CSV starts with a UTF-8 bomb, Excel is more likely to detect UTF-8 correctly. Next step. If you want a reliable way to identify encoding, use a text editor that can show it. Many editors display the current encoding and let you reopen the file with a different one. If the file looks correct in UTF-8 there, but wrong in Excel, you know Excel imported with the wrong encoding. Another practical trick is to search for a known special character in the file, like an accented letter, an em dash, or a currency symbol. Those characters break first when encoding is wrong. If your data is purely ASCII, only basic English letters and numbers, you may never notice encoding problems. But as soon as you have international names, product descriptions, or symbols, encoding matters. When accuracy matters, treat encoding as a required import setting, not an afterthought. Next step. Now let's handle the messiest issue, line breaks. In a CSV, a new row is usually a line break. But a line break can also exist inside a cell, like a multiline address or a notes field. Proper CSV allows that, as long as the field is wrapped in quotes. If the exporter forgets the quotes, Excel thinks the line break ends the row, and everything after that shifts down. Even with correct quotes, some tools mix line break styles. Windows often uses CRLF, while Unix systems use LF. Excel can usually handle both, but mixed endings in one file can cause odd behavior. The clean fix is to ensure the exporter writes valid CSV with quoted multiline fields. If you can't control the export, you may need to preprocess the file to replace internal line breaks or normalize line endings. Next step. Here's how to spot line break problems quickly. Open the file in a text editor and look for a record that seems to span multiple lines. If you see an opening quote, then a line break, then the closing quote later, that's a valid multiline field. Excel should import it as one cell if the text qualifier is set correctly. If you see a line break in the middle of a field with no surrounding quotes, that's invalid CSV for multiline data. Another sign is when one logical record has fewer delimiters on the first line and the rest appear on the next line. That means the row got split. If you need a workaround, you can replace internal line breaks with a visible marker like N before import, then convert them back inside Excel later. It's not perfect, but it restores row integrity. Next step. Even when delimiters and encoding are correct, Excel can still break your data by auto-converting types. The classic examples are zip codes losing leading zeros, long IDs turning into scientific notation, and product codes becoming dates. This happens because Excel tries to be helpful and guesses data types during import. For clean analysis, you often want the opposite. Import as text first, then convert deliberately. During import, set sensitive columns to text, especially identifiers, phone numbers, and anything with leading zeros. For dates, decide the expected format upfront because day-month order varies by locale. If you import first and fix later, you may already have lost information, like truncated digits. So treat type control as part of CSV import not working, because the result is still wrong data. Next step. Let's build a simple, repeatable checklist you can use for almost any CSV. Step 1. Inspect the raw file in a text editor for delimiter, quotes, and obvious weird characters. Step 2. Import from inside Excel, not by opening the file directly. Step 3. Set the delimiter and text qualifiers so columns split correctly. Step 4. Set encoding so special characters display correctly. Step 5. Control data types for columns that must stay as text. Step 6. Validate row counts and a few known records, especially those with commas, quotes, accents, or multiline notes. If anything looks off, don't patch the spreadsheet blindly. Go back one step and adjust the import settings. A controlled import plus quick validation beats hours of manual cleanup. Next step. Sometimes the real fix is upstream, at the export. If you control the system creating the CSV, aim for standards that Excel and other tools handle well. UTF-8 encoding is a strong default for international text. Use commas or semicolons consistently, and document which one you use. Always quote fields that contain delimiters, quotes, or line breaks. And escape quotes inside fields by doubling them, which is the common CSV convention. Also, keep one header row with stable column names. If you're exchanging files between teams, agree on these rules once, and you'll prevent most import failures. Excel can import messy files, but it's far better when the CSV is well-formed. Clean exports turn CSV from a headache into a reliable handoff format. Next step. If you're stuck with a problematic file, you still have a few practical rescue options. One is to open the CSV in a text editor and normalize it. Replace the delimiter, fix inconsistent quotes, or convert encoding to UTF-8. Another is to load it through a more robust import path, like a data import tool that lets you specify encoding and delimiter explicitly, then output a cleaned CSV. If line breaks inside cells are the issue, you can temporarily replace them with a placeholder before import. If Excel keeps auto-converting, import everything as text and create a separate clean table with formulas that convert only the columns you trust. The key is to preserve the original file as a read-only reference. Make a copy, clean the copy, and keep the raw export unchanged for auditing. Next step. Let's wrap it up with a mental model you can remember. CSV problems in Excel are rarely random. They come from 3 layers: structure, text, and meaning. Structure is delimiter, quotes, and line breaks. This decides where rows and columns are. Text is encoding. This decides whether characters are readable. Meaning is data types. This decides whether IDs stay IDs and dates stay correct. When something looks wrong, identify which layer failed, then fix that layer during import. That approach keeps you calm and systematic. If you want, I can also provide a one-page checklist you can keep next to your computer. For now, leave a comment with your most common CSV problem. A. One column, B. Weird characters, or C. Shifted rows. And if you want more practical Excel troubleshooting like this, subscribe. I'm always testing new ways to work smarter. Subscribe to see what workflow I'm breaking down next.